civil society organizations, professional bodies, traditional institutions, and other interest groups to express their views and contribute meaningfully to the constitutional reform process. Because if we must live by the preamble of our constitution that says the people of Nigeria, we must show this by engaging in participatory democracy that is all engaging, that is people centered. The intention of this outing is to center our constitution amendment process around the people. On methodology that will be applied in the course of this, the zonal public hearing will hold in 6 centers of the 3 geopolitical zones in the north from Friday, 11 July to Sunday, 13 July 2025, and the 6 centers of the 3 geopolitical zones in the south from Friday, 18th July to Sunday, 20th July 2025, while the national public hearing will hold on Monday, 21st day of July 2025. The deceased constitution review bills currently under consideration in the House will be presented to the general public in form of a compressed compendium consisting of a collection of exemplary or explanatory memoranda, long titles, and a comprehensive expose of the bills for their input. We have already produced this. We will leave some copies with you as the first copy, and this is what we're going to be sharing with the members of the public for them to go through and make their input. We want to be as transparent as possible. There is nothing strange that is going to be drop on the people of God in all the processes and what we are going to be voting on. This will give you a roadmap towards what we are trying to do. But if there's anyone that will come up between now and then, we will also let the public know. So don't worry, we'll leave some of this with you by the time we are leaving. The bills sponsored by members of the House represent legislative efforts aimed at addressing Nigeria. The purpose one, to present the compendium as reference material to all stakeholders and members of the public during the zonal public hearing, thereby enabling them to understand the legislative proposals. We don't want the legislative proposals to sound like jargon to the members of the public. We want them to know what the proposals are and how we got about them and what they stand for. Number two, the purpose of the summarized compendium is to facilitate public engagement by allowing citizens to seek clarifications, critically examine the bills based on their subject matter, and contribute through constructive input. That is the second reason why we have summarized our work into this document. Number three, as the purpose of this summarized compendium is to foster the exchange of ideas during the hearings, thereby providing members of the House with valuable insight into the expectations and concerns of their constituents and the wider public. This will help guide their legislative actions and inform their decisions when the bills are brought up for voting. So what it means is that this is going to guide all the reports we're going to drive from the field will go alongside issues mentioned in this compendium so that when we present them to the House based on the report of what we get from the field, yeah, at least all the representatives will have an idea of what the constituents want on each of the issues. They will be guided. Uh, we don't want to leave information here and there. We want it to be attached to each of the subject matter that we want to vote on when the time comes for voting. Number four purpose is to provide feedback to members of the public who submitted memoranda informing them whether or how their concerns have been addressed in the proposed amendment. Because most people submitted memoranda, they want to know if their memorandum made the list or not. And the only way to be transparent, to show how far we look at those memoranda, is to be able to have this compendium. So from here, they will flip through and they will say, oh, we made it. Oh, our state proposal made it. And I must say some proposal for state creation, proposal for election, local government creation, they made this list. It's for the public to now take it to the next level. This compendium organized according to the following thematic areas will be discussed at the public hearing. And the resolutions reached will be considered by the committee to either enrich or discard them. So it doesn't mean that what is in this document is final. This is just a roadmap to the conversations that we're going to have around the Constitution. This is a summary of what Nigerians are asking for to be done in their Constitution. But we have to take it back to Nigerians to show them whether we captured it well, and they will make their input to know whether what we captured was good or bad. From the report that we get from the public, some will make it to the final copy, some may not make it. So it's not a guarantee that everything that is in this document will make the final position in our constitution reform process. So these are the subject matters you will see in this document. They are as follows: electoral reforms. Number 2, judicial reform. Number 3, legislature. Number 4, inclusive governance. Number 5, security and policing. Number 6, devolution of powers. Number 7, strengthening of institutions. Number 8, traditional institutions. Number 9, fiscal reforms. Number 10, citizenship and indigenship. Number 10, fundamental human rights. Number 11, local government reform. Number 12, creation of state and local government. These are the things you will see in this document, the subject matters we are looking at the moment. And I'm sure in all these, there's also the gender balance, which will come under the legislature and all that, and inclusive governance, number 4, which has to do with inclusive governance, is where the gender bill falls in. Now, the call to action, in conclusion, I call on all stakeholders and general public to actively participate in the zonal and national public hearing. Your contributions and inputs are crucial to the success of this constitutional review process. We encourage you to download the summarized compendium of the bills from www.hccr.gov.ng. I repeat, we expect you and we encourage you to download the summarized compendium of the bills because we are dealing with climate change. We want to reduce paper production. So you can have access to these by going to www.hccr.gov.ng. Review the proposals and provide your feedback during the hearing. And let me also mention one of the subject matters you're going to see there is on security. When you talk about security and state policing, you will also see it appearing as one of the issues there. Together, we can create a more inclusive and effective institution that reflects the aspirations of our nation. Let me mention the locations for the zonal hearing. We have the northern geopolitical zones. Like I said, the dates start from Friday 11th to Sunday, 13th July 2025. We have North Central. The center will be at Mina. That center will cover Niger, Kwara, and Kogi. And then we'll have Center B, Lafayette Center. And that will cover Nasarawa, Plateau, Benue, and FCT. Then Northwest, we have Kaduna Center. And this will cover Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina states. Then we have the Center B in Northwest, which will be Sokoto Center for Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi State. Then we have for Northeast, the center Gombe. The center at Gombe cover Gombe, Bauchi, and Taraba State. And then we have the center B. The center B is going to be Maiduguri Center, which will cover Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State. That will bring the centers within the northern geopolitical zones to an end. And from the Friday, 18th of July, 2025, in the southern geopolitical zones. For South-South, we're going to have Yenagoa as the first center Yenagoa. And that will be a center for Bayelsa, Edo, and Delta State. And then the center B will be at Calabar. Calabar Center will serve Cross Rivers, and Akwa Ibom State. In the southeast, we'll have Center A, which will be at Enugu. Enugu will provide the center for Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu states. And then we'll have the Center B. The Center B will be at Owerri. Owerri will be the center for Imo and Abia State. And then we have the Southwest geopolitical zone. Center A in the Southwest geopolitical zone will be Lagos. And Lagos will serve Lagos State, Ogun State, and Oyo State. We will also have Center B in Southwest. This Center B will be at Akure, and it will be a center for Ondo, Osun, and Ekiti State. We have been able to make double centers for each of the zones to enable the participation of our people to be more thorough than having it just one per geopolitical zone. We would have also said, let's have national public hearing, and that will be all. But we don't want to do that because there are some people who may not be able to come to Abuja. So we are urging Nigerians to please don't sit on the fence when it comes to amending the most important document, most important national document. Don't complain later if you fail to participate now. From faith-based organization, civil society organization, traditional rulers, businessmen, civil servants, every state is encouraged to send their representative cutting across all the sectors to attend and express themselves. It is when we have finished going through these 12 locations, we will now return back to Abuja on the 21st to have the national public hearing. So that way, nobody in Nigeria will say we were not told. We're going to put newspaper adverts, we're going to put television adverts, we're going to put jingles out there so that you will hear it or you will read it and you will have no reason not to participate. We're also going to create opportunity online If you want to monitor some of the hearings, uh, processes online, you want to monitor it online, you will do that. You want to drop comment, you drop comment. We are using every platform to make sure that the voices of Nigerian people determine Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the amendment of it goes. Embrace it. Tell us what you want us to change within these subject matters. Thank you very much. And I'll open up now for one or two questions. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
To speakers giving detail. It is time for question and what if knows?
The provision you are making to ensure that grassroots people actually have access to this exercise that is going on this show. Because when you talk of TVs, you talk of radio, they are going to come to Mina. They will travel to a particular central place where the airlines can easily access. For those people, the grassroots need people to actually communicate this information. So, can you tell us what effort you are making to ensure that those people at the grassroots, their interests are captured in this exercise?
Well, like you heard,
Your presentation, when you were reading your speech, the breakdown was actually detailed. Didn't really hear anything how press would be for executive programs.
All right, thank you very much. I think let me start from the last, which is very important to me because I'm your member. You know, before being a deputy speaker, how would the press be carried along? What we are doing here today is one of the ways of letting the press know that we can't do it without you. We would have sat in our offices or just made an announcement during plenary, and that would be all. We are coming here because we are the immediate constituency to us when it comes to media coverage to let you know. The committee has a structure to involve you in capturing what is happening across these 12 locations. I'm sure the secretariat will communicate that to you. Let me also inform you that we have an engagement that is coming up between us and Guild of Editors. We're going to sit with the stakeholders in the media space, just like we have done with the security, we have done with local government, traditional ruler. We're going to sit with the heads of the media houses to discuss what they think about what we're doing. And all this will come up within this period of stakeholders engagement at the public hearing, both zonal and public. So we are not joking with the media because communication need to be out there, the processes and also the subject matter discussion and what the reflection of what the parliament is actually thinking about those subject matters so that they will not be misinformed, the public will not be misinformed. So you are going to be part of the process for the sake of transparency. If the media is not there, we are not transparent. That is why you are the first to receive this copy. No other person, it was unveiled here. You are the first to receive it, you are the first to start looking at it, so that when you report along the subject matters and what the reaction of people are when we visit those areas. So we want to prepare you ahead of time, before you go to the field. And I think you have about 10 days or thereabout to prepare for that engagement. So that is that. Then the penultimate question was on grassroots engagement. And I agree with you that public engagement is the true reflection of participatory democracy. If you leave that out of the door, then you are making laws for yourself, not for the people. And that is why you are seeing that we are taking this journey from the time we advertise for memoranda, and we call the public to send in what they think. Those grassroots were part of the people we are calling. Remember, those grassroots, they have leaders. There are people leading them, community leaders, traditional leaders, um, religious organization, faith-based organization leaders, civil society leaders. They are part of the grassroots. And we have received inputs from the representative of these, stakeholders, including the grassroots, market women, all of them. We have received drivers. We have received from all walks of life. And we also try to make sure that we work with the governors of various states to help us with the president generals or community leaders or community heads in their various local governments through town crying, like in the South, they do town crying, or in advertising it in the churches or in the mosque, so that the day of the event, the place will be filled up. And these grassroots we have in mind, that we also have in mind, they will be present there to be heard. And another effort we are making is ensuring that people who speak the same language are in the room to interpret this compendium. Although not the big English here, there are people there. The way we have divided, time will not allow me to give you the membership of the committees going to various places. See that Yoruba man is where Yoruba people are discussing, mixed with other people. It's where a fake man is there, where Igbo man is where. So people who understand each other, they will be there to make sure that the grassroots will have what they are looking for. And then the first question today was, is this a waste of money? You've done it before, the nine assembly, and you're doing it again. We are advancing our democracy. And where most uh, communities that we celebrate today pass through what we are passing through. The society is dynamic, and as we evolve, we notice gaps in our laws. And since the laws are not cast on stones, we go through the process allowed by our constitution. In fact, the constitution mandates us to amend it. Okay, the framers of the constitution gave a room for you to amend it. So we are not acting on the frolic of our own. It is not wasteful because through the amendment of the constitution, you drive development of our communities better and harder than it used to be. I tell you, for example, there are certain things that before now appeared on the exclusive list, which is no longer obtainable today. We have, through constitutional amendment, taken them to concurrent list. And there are ones existing today under the concurrent list. We are still unbundling them to the exclusive list. We're still unbundling them to concurrent list, so that that devolution of power will find out that some of the things that settled at the federal level, we're breaking it down for the state to have access to it. One of them is power generation, power distribution. You find out that we can, through our access to solar energy, we can even as a state decide now to build a mini plant of solar, because statistics have shown that Africa has the 60% solar potential of the world. So while we are looking at the main grids and all that, we can on our own generate and distribute power. Gas is there, so it's affording us opportunity. We're unbundling aviation, we're unbundling railways, we're unbundling some of this so that we, the states, can participate and use that to stimulate their economies. So that is the purpose of amending the law. Now we're talking about policing, which is a security concern in our country, and it is so because the response time of Nigeria to emergencies is far below the globally accepted response time. At the moment, we are responding with 90 minutes if there is any emergency, and we're supposed to be less than 30 minutes. And one of the ways we want to achieve that is to bundle police so that we will have policing at the state level, local government level, by people who speak the same language, people who are closer to each other. And then if there's a problem, the response time will now be shorter. So those are the benefits attached to amending the constitution. And through the amendment of the Constitution, we also strengthen our electoral system, our democracy, to make sure that the laws upon which the Electoral Act relies on in doing what it's doing at the moment could be shifted one or two ways to make sure that it delivers better. It is through the amendment of our Constitution that we can bring in the gender balance that we are talking about, because if we leave the Constitution as it is, we will not be able to increase the number of participation of women in governance, which is at the moment is below 3 or below 4%. It ought not to be so. If we leave our law as it is, there's hardly a way we can show up, and it's embarrassing us within the Committee of Nature. So the benefits are so many. So my brother, it's not a waste of time. It is an advancement of our democracy that will help us advance our rule of law, justice, equity, balancing of devolution of power, autonomy of the local government, making sure that every aspect of our government function as is expected to function. I think I've taken the three quick. I think that brings us to the end of this engagement. Thank you
Well, I
for
want to
listening.
assure
God
you that
bless
I will be
you.
bringing
And bless the
others.
Federal Republic of Nigeria. So let's hand over the podium to you in a ceremonial manner so that you can take it up that today the committee handed over to the media, in a ceremonial manner, the compendium of what we are working. The executive should come and stand with him. Executive, please come. Let's come. Like we said, this is the document that we have prepared that summarize all that we have been doing with regards to what Nigerians were amend in the Constitution, coming from the public memoranda that we collected um, to the private sponsored bills in the House, even the federal state sponsored bill. Everything has been summarized there. It may not be the final document. In case there's anything that comes between now and when we finalize, we will also, in the spirit of accountability and transparency, let the public know through you, the media, that this is what we are doing. I'm sure this is going to guide you to know specifically without doing a guesswork what we want to achieve with this amendment of our constitution. Thank you very much. As we urge you to communicate accurately to Nigerians and urge them also to participate now that the public hearing is out there and not to complain later. Thank you very much.
Well, the committee has done its work, the chairman has done his own, and the press is left to do to continue their own. Till I come your way again, I'm Bemiga Olamikon for GTV Africa.